At first, it was an ordinary day. Traffic crawled through cities, radios hummed with static-laced music, oceans moved as they always had, and forests stood ignorant of what was coming. Then, the sound began. It did not come from speakers or devices or any direction that could be pointed to. It came from the sky itself, from everywhere and everything at once, vibrating through bone and concrete alike. God is coming. The words were slow, deliberate, impossibly loud, impossibly intimate, as if spoken directly into the human nervous system. People dropped to their knees. Others screamed. Some froze entirely, eyes wide, mouths open, unable to process what they were hearing. Cars crashed by the hundreds as drivers lost control or abandoned their vehicles mid-motion. Planes fell silently before falling from the sky. The world did not end immediately. It recoiled in terror first. Then, the sky changed. Blue bled into crimson, clouds twisting like exposed muscle, the sun dimming behind a veil of red so deep it felt alive. Oceans began to boil, not gently, but violently, sending pillars of steam and burning water into the air as coastlines vanished in seconds. Forests ignited from the inside out, streets split open as if something were forcing its way through them, as if there was something alive. Sap replaced by a thick, dark slime that spilled into the ground. It crawled like it had intent. The rain followed, but it was not water. It felt warm and heavy, streaking everything it touched with blood. Where it pooled, it hissed. Where it soaked into skin, something or someone inside the body answered. People began to change in the streets, in their homes, in places of worship. Some collapsed instantly, convulsing as their veins blackened and their bones bent into new shapes. Others stood upright as the rain washed over them, eyes glazing, mouths opening to speak familiar words in familiar voices, begging, crying, apologizing, before the bodies jerked violently and the movements became long. These infected still spoke, still sounded human, but something else held the reins and the veins. Animals fared no better. Pets turned on owners mid-embrace. Wildlife floated out of forests and fields, many already warped, limbs too long, eyes too many, teeth arranged in patterns that had never existed before. Beneath the ice caps, ancient organisms were awakened as glaciers cracked open, releasing bacteria that had never known humanity, now free to spread across the dying world. Animals long entombed also spread out. And the angels ascended. They were not uniform. Some were small, roughly human-sized amalgamations of flesh, bone, and geometry, moving with jerking insect-like precision. They mimicked forces, faces, behaviors, standing at a distance, waving, calling out names, luring their prey. Luring survivors into reach before unfolding into violence. Others were so vast they redefined the landscape simply by existing. Towering hundreds of feet tall, their silhouettes eclipsed into entire city blocks, their bodies composed of shifting structures that looked less grown and more assembled, as if reality itself had been rearranged to accommodate them. When they moved, the buildings collapsed. When they touched the ground, the earth split open. They did not hunt in a human sense. They corrected. Humans were torn apart mid-prayer, disemboweled without acknowledgement, reduced to debris alongside cars and concrete. Explosions bloomed everywhere, not from weapons, but from pressure, impact, and panic. The infection evolved alongside the destruction. Fungus adapted at impossible speeds, growing across asphalt, steel, and bone alike, forming networks that pulsed frailly in rhythm with the sky's hum. Some infected did not rot. Instead, they grew new limbs branching from torsos, eyes opening along spines and shoulders, nervous systems expanding rather than failing. These rare mutations retained intelligence, speech, memory. They could reason, they could lie, they could pretend to still be human, and many did, embedding themselves among survivors until the moment was right. Even the planet itself participated in judgment. Rivers carried spores, wind spread voices, the ground became hostile, nothing remained natural.